What's up, everyone? It's Shaf, aka That Mill Guy, coming at you with, well, almost another Zendikar Rising spoiler discussion, but more so, we are going to be talking about the meta moving forward in this video, but it's going to be highlighted around one card. Look, the thumbnail already says it, Ashiok Dream Render. My problem with this card, I don't actually have a problem with the card. My problem is, y'all ain't playing it. That's my damn problem with this card. Y'all don't put respect on Ashiok's name. That's my damn problem. Okay, and that's what we're here to talk about and how that relates to the meta moving forward into Zendikar Rising. So going into my previous video, we were talking about already how Maddening Cacophony is a fantastic move forward. The more and more you think about it, especially because we're going to have to be dealing with more Leyline effects, more Veil of Summers. So Ruin Crab gets around it, and now we have another potential Glimpsy Unthinkable replacement that gets around it as well. But another thing that we have to contend with are shuffle effects. I'm talking about not just Nexus of Fate. No. Oh, no. Some of y'all just be joining Modern a little more recently. Haven't really run across it. I'm talking about stuff like, the Shuffle Titans. Emrakul, the Aeons, Torn, Kozilek, Butcher of Truth, stuff like that. When the card enters your graveyard, it not only shuffles itself back in, because hey, that's all Nexus does. You can beat Nexus. And it friggin' shuffles the whole damn graveyard back up into the library, and that's a massive problem. That is going to be 110% something we have to deal with, especially when you consider that Eldrazi is getting a lot of sweet new toys in Zendikar, a lot of new colorless payoffs. You see that 5-mana card that gives colorless spells +2 colorless creatures +2/+2, and you just start gaining life and stuff. Eldrazi is going to be a lot more prevalent, especially if we're going to agree that the aggressive red decks are also going to be prevalent, because hey, Etron plays Chalice, red decks play 1-drops, they're going to be duking it out, and we're in the middle of the battlefield problem. So we have to be able to deal with graveyards that shuffle themselves back in, or Titans like this. Now, you might say, Shaf, we got surgical extraction. No, don't. Look, surgical extraction is amazing, but don't discount what Ashiok can do. Forget the fact that it doesn't work with Drown. Forget the fact that it doesn't work with Crypt Incursion. You're trying to mill your opponent out. You can't mill your opponent out if their graveyard keeps shuffling back in. Surgical doesn't really deal with that. Surgical deals with the trigger. You get rid of the Emrakul, but then the rest of the graveyard still shuffles back in. That's how the trigger works. So you need Ashiok Dream Render to deal with this. Y'all should be playing more of this, and especially moving into Zendikar Rising. If I haven't made myself clear already, you need to make room for a bare minimum of 2 copies in the main board. I'm going to be playing with 3. Now, I know I can't convince y'all on 3. Y'all want to play like 4 copies of Drown in the Lock, 4 copies of Mesmeric Orb, and not put respect on Ashiok's name. Well, alright, fine. While y'all go 1 and 4, your boy Shaft's going to be laughing to the bank going 2 and 3. No, look, all jokes aside. Play the card, because we need to be able to deal with the shuffle effects. Okay, and that's going to be especially important against the green matchups. They're going to be playing stuff like Gaia's Blessing that can be played to target certain cards that they want to return, which is arguably even better than the shuffle effects, because the shuffle effects don't return the nonsense. The Cradle just returns the cards that they do want to find, tutor targets and stuff. So stuff like this is extremely problematic, and we need Ashiok to have that ability to just exile those graveyards. And hey, even if we mill and we don't have the Ashiok anymore, at least maybe in Ashiok we already have exiled a bunch of their graveyard already, and we're able to move on from there. Obviously, we have some counter synergies or anti-synergies where, if Eldrazi is going to be played a lot, we have to think about cards like Karn the Great Creator that can now get artifacts out of exile because we exiled them with Ashiok. But unfortunately, this does not matter, folks, because we need to mill our opponent out first and foremost, and we cannot do that if the graveyard shuffles back in. If they're able to get a very problematic artifact, well, unfortunately, maybe you built your deck a little not that great if you're not able to deal with that. You need to be able to deal with everything here. At least in the game 1 scenario, we are more so an aggro mill deck. If your Heejin Crabs can't get there, if your Maddening Cacophonies or Glimpse the Unthinkables can't get there alongside the Ashiok, I think you drew a little bit bad. You can't blame the Ashiok. You just got to play more games with it. And I think that's ultimately what it comes down to. Even the static ability, a lot of people have this comment of, well, it doesn't work with Archive Trap. So what the hell do you mean it doesn't work with Archive Trap? It works fantastically with Archive Trap. You just have to change your thinking. In terms of Archive Trap itself, you arguably do not want to Archive Trap on your opponent's whims. Any half-decent player that you play against, and we've seen a bunch, and individuals like Z-Monkeys and Delthar, they can tell you, those are the people that are putting up those top results on the modern challenges. They can tell you that individuals will search their library when it is least convenient to you, the mill player. So Ashiok stops that. Ashiok makes it so they can't just be searching the library whenever they want. They can't search their library at all. So that not only limits their mana, limits a lot of the abilities of creatures. Now, our Field of Ruin is an extra form of disruption. They really got to think about it, because now we're going to be able to field, potentially even bluff an Archive Trap, but now Archive Trap on our whims when we have the ability to cast our Archive Traps, cast our visions with protection. So again, Ashiok, it's not that it doesn't work with Archive Trap. It actually helps us with Archive Trap, framing it in such a way that we're able to weaponize the ability to force our opponent to search their library. And that's going to be very key. Now, when it comes to playing this card, again, I'm recommending that we play at least 3 copies in the main board. And this is where, in my previous video, I was hinting to the fact that deck lists are becoming a little bit more cramped. Fitting 4 Ruin Crabs in there and a couple of Ashioks, and, you still need cards like Crypt Incursion to make sure you're gaining life. Not a lot of flex slots anymore, so you're gonna have to lose that. Me personally, what I would recommend is losing that 4th copy of Mesmeric Orb, losing a copy or 2, yes, of Drown in the Loch. Drown in the Loch is very good, but at least for the initial meta of Zendikar Rising, please, please, please be ready for the hate. Drown in the Loch will do nothing for you, absolutely nothing for you, if Emrakul is gonna keep loop shuffling back into their library. And hey, if they don't have Emrakul, you got an Ashiok, it works with Fraying Sanity, mill them out. You're an aggro mill deck, mill them out. Take them out in the post board, bring in cards that are better. All right, construct your sideboard in such a way that if Ashiok isn't good, take it out. That's good sideboard construction, okay? And hey, look, if you want exclusive sideboard, guys, the Patreon is where you want to join. Link down below. Anyway, look, forget the self-plug here. Play the Ashiok. I would actually play the 4th copy in the sideboard as well. Be ready for those graveyard matchups. Be ready for those matchups that are going to try and take advantage of you trying to mill them. Not only are people going to be playing more Veil of Summoner, more Leyline of Sanctity, as I said in the last video, not only are they going to be playing more shuffle effects, they're also going to try and do some cheeky stuff, bring back some Vengevines and stuff. So be ready for those graveyard matchups. And hey, Surgical is not enough. Extirpate isn't the answer anymore. We're past that in Modern, although Extirpate is still playable. Play Ashiok Dreamrender. Remember, worst case scenario, it is one of the single best cards that you can play against a control deck that's trying to loop Mystic Sanctuaries, Cryptic commands, and you're able to get rid of their graveyard, and hey, it exiles Uros as well. Not that bad. Now that's going to be about it. That's going to be my mini rant about Ashiok Dreamrender and why y'all need to be playing more copies of this card. I hope I got my point across, and let me know what you think. Are you going to be playing more copies now? Are you still kind of skeptical on Ashiok? Well, hey, if you're skeptical, I'd love to hear your point. This is all about an open discussion. Even though I felt a little ranty, I'm here to hear about your opinion. Let me know what you think. And of course, remember that even the impossible is possible. And as we ponder that thought, I hope you'll join me next time as we take a glimpse into the unthinkable.